If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm going to give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car is gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson. Now, every day from 2 to 6 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Want to remind you about Win Ticket Wednesday, your chance to win big every week on the station. This week, you can win tickets to go see Real Salt Lake take on the Colorado Rapids at America First Field. Coming up this Saturday. Great seats are available at SeatGeek. Get your tickets today or listen all day on Wednesday for your chance to win. What do they call that? The Rocky Mountain Cup? Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah. Go see it. Go see a rivalry, Ben.
Yeah, for sure.
Check it out. I wouldn't mind getting over to see it. Now that the weather is turning nice a little bit.
My kids have never been. I need to take them.
Really?
Yeah, they've never been to a game. So.
Now, I am admittedly not necessarily into soccer guy. I don't consider myself a hater.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, similar to baseball, on a summer night, out at that, which I really like that Stadium America First Field. I think they did a pretty terrific job on it. The pacing of soccer lends itself to a good social aspect of it. I don't know. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. I think my kids would too.
So check it out. There you go. You can listen on Wednesday for your chance to win. How dialed in are you on this combine coverage, Ben? Did the 42 inches from AJ do anything for you today?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's the highest. Again, it just kind of underlines that where there are questions among the top 3 prospects, and you can bring in Caleb Wilson to the top 4 if you want. They're all super skilled offensive players. They're highly, highly touted offensive players. All of them averaged over 20 points per game as freshmen. Really rare. That's a great number for true freshmen. They did it in different ways. AJ is physically maybe the most gifted as far as attacking from the wing in. Darren Peterson's the best shooter. And obviously Cam Boozer's the most physically dominant in the post and around the rim, but also shoots 38% from 3. But they're not alike in any way. They're all 3 do it in different manners. And, Boozer's the best playmaker of the 3, and probably AJ's second, and then Darren Peterson would be third. So how do they all fit? The fact that AJ has the best size of all of them, Darren Peterson's 6'4.5", so he'll be about 6'6" in shoes. We talked about that yesterday. AJ's actually a half inch or a quarter inch taller than Cam Boozer, which is great. And then he has I think his max vert now is 7 inches higher than Cam Boozer's. It's 4 inches taller or higher than Darren Peterson's. So not only does he have the best positional size, he's also the best athlete of the group. He also averaged the most points of the group. And sometimes I think as you really try and diagnose these guys and dig deep and look at all the numbers, sometimes also just step back and realize AJ is just a pretty safe prospect. He did it at a very high level in college. Maybe they didn't win enough. Maybe he didn't play enough defense. His shooting numbers weren't perfect at just 33% from 3. But the profile lends itself to somebody who's really going to be fine. There's just not real question marks there. And there's questions about how Cam Boozer's going to stack up, athletically. We're going to talk to Ricky O'Donnell coming up at 4 o'clock. He's a big Cam Boozer fan. We'll see what he thinks about that gap. And I just don't think it's significant enough that everyone's going to bring it up. Why does Cam Boozer's game translate if he's not a big-time athlete? You just don't ask that at all with A.J. Dubonsa. And that's a huge plus. And then the numbers today just underlined it. But no, nobody is surprised at what they saw today.
Do you think either of these teams, Wizards or the Jazz, are even considering Cam Boozer?
Yeah, they should be. I hope they both are.
Why is that?
Cam honestly may have just had the greatest freshman season we've ever seen any player ever have. And that's not hyperbole. Like, he was the best. He's the best offensive player in college basketball as a freshman. In a generation right now, in an era where older players in college basketball are back. Like, that's a thing. These guys are playing 3 and 4 years and getting paid a lot of money. This isn't just like all the one-and-done players are the best players because nobody sticks in college. Everyone leaves. There's guys sticking in college now. So he was by far the best player in college. I think there's a real argument he was the best passer in college. He's also the best rebounder in college. And then he averages 22 points a game. He's like by far the most efficient of all these players. So
I get back to, though, yesterday, a point we made yesterday. Why would they take a flawed player at number one?
Well, all these guys are flawed is the problem.
Yeah, but I mean significantly flawed.
I don't know if he's that significantly flawed. Like
he's not going to guard in the NBA level. That's not going to be a thing.
Like
he doesn't have the lateral quickness like the old man.
Correct. He lacks some of that. Yeah.
So he's not. He's going to be picked on in the pick and roll his whole career.
Like AJ didn't guard at all. Like AJ was a really lousy defender this year at BYU.
But what's his wingspan?
Yeah, it's good.
And what's his athletic ability? I mean, if he wants to, the point is, if he wants to guard, he can guard. That's a different problem.
But also, like what teams look at now, like a big number right now is steal percentage. Now amount of possessions ended with steals that you get because steals are live ball turnovers, and the NBA right now is just a possessions game. So if we want to get really dorky about this, here's where Boozer matters. You play 100 possessions. Boozer makes the right play 95 of them. Mm-hmm. Darren Peterson makes the right play 80 of them. AJ makes the right play 60 of them. Well, over time, making the right play 95 of them really adds up, and maybe it's only a tenth of a percentage point, and it doesn't matter that much, but over 90 possessions, it really starts to matter. 100 possessions, it really starts to matter. And then your steal percentage, which AJ's numbers are like shockingly bad. Like he doesn't get steals, he doesn't get blocks, despite the fact that we look at a 42-inch vertical and a 8'10" standing reach. It's like, why did you block so few shots? Like, what, do you care? Do you not want to be a part of it? And I think the answer is no, BYU didn't care. And that's not a flaw. They just said, AJ, you do not get to foul out of games at all. Like, you have to carry a huge load offensively. So I don't actually worry about it that much, but I know NBA teams worry about it. And I'm just trying to speak from why teams will seriously consider Cam Boozer as the number one overall pick, because he is the best offensive player of this group right now. Now, top potential, is he? I don't know, but Alperen Sengun's a great player, and I think Cam Boozer's a way better player than Alperen Sengun is, like a way better player. I think he's a better player than Sabonis. Well, Sabonis is an all-star and an all-NBA player. Like, if I had to bet of these three players who's going to be an all-NBA guy, I would say Cam Boozer, no doubt about it. Like, Cam Boozer's going to get there. Some of that's because the front court is wide open to get to the all-NBA, which is why Julius Randle has made a bunch in his career. It's why Karl Anthony Towns has made a lot. Like, you can get there easier in the front court than I think you can in the back court. Some of it's because there's so few 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" people in the world, and there are a ton of 6'3" people. So that's just kind of the math problem of it that does favor big guys reaching some of these awards at the end of the season. But man, if I needed somebody who's just going to check a bunch of boxes, like I know Cam Boozer is going to be a great player in the NBA. The people doubt whether his one-of-one outcome, his top overall outcome, is as good as either AJ or Darren. But he's a way better player today than either of those players. Way better.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm going to give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car's gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
I know I'm going back like 5 minutes, but steal percentage is something people value? Why? Steals are so overrated.
No, I think they're really underrated. I think it's the opposite. I think blocks are really overrated. But because it's a live ball turnover. And
Fine. John Stockton is the all-time leader in steals. He was not a dominant defensive player. Chris Paul has been good at steals his entire career, and he sucks at defense.
No, he was a great defensive
he's
player.
Gotten all
no, he's a very good defensive player.
Because people overrate steals, he's made some all-defensive teams because they overrate steals. People assume because players get steals that they're good defenders. That is not the case. And Chris Paul, if you want to say he's a plucky guy and a plucky defender, then fine, but he's also 2 feet tall and has never been able to switch. So I don't like steals as a gauge at all. And it doesn't surprise me that analytics people do, because analytics people like all sorts of bizarre stuff. But as far as defense goes, I think steals are distracting. You need a player who's going to be able to stay in front of his guy and not get beat and not require double teams. And that has nothing to do with steals, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Can you put A.J. DeBonsa, if he has the will, out on Shea? No, Shea's a bad example because I'm not exactly trying to pick the best player in the league necessarily. Sure. But can you send A.J. DeBonsa out on a starting NBA wing and have him be able to hold his own and not require a double team? That is what I'm talking about. And then you can go from there to versatility. Can you switch your players onto other positions? Can AJ switch onto other positions? I would guess the answer is yes.
Yeah.
But to your
yes.
To your point, we didn't see it at BYU.
Yeah.
So we don't have a proof of concept. We don't have a proof of concept really with any of these guys defensively. But if I had to make a bet on who's going to be a good defensive player, am I taking a guy with a high steal percentage or a guy with the athleticism to stay in front of their guy? I'm taking the athleticism 10 out of 10 times.
I think that's 100% fair.
And does Darren Peterson have it? I don't know. He's a little smaller than AJ. So his impact defensively, I think, is a little bit more up in the air. But do I want the slow guy? Speaking of Şengün, slow guy can't guard.
Yeah, he can't.
It's going to make him limited. And I love Şengün, but it's going to make him limited for his entire career. He will never be the best player on a championship contender. Kevin Durant and his stupid burner was absolutely right about that, 100%. So I come back to the question, and hey, what do I know? I'm some bozo. Whoever the Jazz want to consider, they're way smarter than me. I would not consider Cam Boozer for that reason. He cannot move laterally. Luka Doncic. Well, look at your guy AR. Picked on that entire series because he cannot move laterally.
Right.
Carlos Boozer. If we want to go back, we were comparing eras. If you want to go back to the Darren Williams, Carlos Boozer era and why that team failed, yes, size was part of it, but his lateral quickness was even bigger.
Yeah.
Because he got crushed in the pick and roll against those Laker teams all the time. Memo did too. And so, I don't know. If I'm looking at Cam Boozer and people say, is athleticism a question? That's a big question to me, and especially when you're picking number one. Don't take the non-athletic guy if you're picking number one.
Which is why I don't think he's going to go number one. I don't. But
or number two even. I mean, if you're considering between these three players. He would be a distant third, in my opinion.
I mean, of these three, Boozer, I believe, has the best, and again, this is getting dorky, but defensive box plus minus. So you add up all the analytics, Boozer has been the best defensive player. Now, sometimes those really overrate rebounding, or they highly value rebounding because you're ending a possession by grabbing the rebound.
Well, and who else is on his team?
And again, he's an elite defensive rebounder. I mean, he's an elite rebounder. He's going to be a guy who's going to come in. And look, Boozer in his prime is going to average 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. And a lot of teams are just going to say, like, I will take that. Because there's a world where A.J. DeBonsa busts. Like, absolutely. There's a huge world where Darren Peterson busts. It's like not crazy. There have been a lot of two guards that people have said, I think it's Kobe. I think it's Michael.
I know. I hate that.
And you get
crap.
wowed in that. And you say, wow, I think that's who it's going to be. So we're taking Jalen Green with the number 2 overall pick. He's a can't-miss prospect.
Yeah.
Is Jalen Green a can't-miss prospect? He's on his second team already. He's not that good.
But
so,
if Shea were in the draft this year, you're taking him.
Yeah.
With the 1 or 2 pick or whatever.
Well,
and he would have been a 2 guard. And he wasn't taking number 2. The draft is flawed.
No,
but
he's
you get
taking
my
12, yeah.
But you get my point. I mean, if he's a 2 guard, if you think he's going to be an MVP, then you take him, whether he's 6'5 or 6'4 or 2 or whatever.
But, and if we want to, again, rewind 5 minutes, the reason why steals right now are really highly sought after is because that's the defense the Thunder have built. They force a ton of turnovers. Well, how do you force turnovers? That's a steal. They're trying to win the possession battle every night. They do it with rebounding, which is why they went out and got Hardenstein. But then they also get a ton of steals. That's Caruso. That's Shea. That's Lou Dort, I mean, that's what those players specialize in.
But that didn't put them over the hump.
I mean, their defense probably did.
Hartenstein put them over the hump.
Yes, when they added Hartenstein.
And that defensive component, that's what put them over the hump. It's not the steals, it's how they're built.
Right. And what is Hartenstein? Great rebounder. Boozer's the best rebounder in the draft. Like, here's what people need to realize. Cam Boozer is the best passer and rebounder in this draft, and he's probably the fourth best scorer. So it's like, that's a lot. That's a really, really rare combination. And I get he doesn't move his feet very well. Like, but the best passer, rebounder, and the third or fourth best scorer is an absolute insane player. Like, I think there's a relatively safe bet that he's the second best player from this class. He's going to be better than one of AJ or Darren. Who's he going to be better than? That's what I think some teams are honestly going to be weighing.
Why is he automatically going to be better than one of those guys?
I don't think he's automatically, but I think he's a much safer bet to be better than one of those. You're betting on the upside of both AJ and Darren because neither of them is there right now. And Cam is way closer to being there already. Like, Cam is going to be the overwhelming favorite to be Rookie of the Year because he is so much better than they are today. He's just way better than they are today. He's 250 pounds. He's 6'8". His skills are through the roof. He's a great ball handler. He does all the rebounding and passing like I've just talked about. His B-ball IQ is higher than the other two players right now. It's just he's really close to being a contributor, I think, day one, so he's going to be the favorite to win Rookie of the Year. The same advantage that Cooper Flagg had last season. Can somebody with the higher potential reach the higher potential? You know, most guys don't reach their potential. When they do, it's awesome. You know, you do get the Kobe Bryants of the world who went from a very raw high school prospect to one of the 15 greatest players of all time. When they get there, it's really awesome. But a lot of guys bet on potential and they never get there.
I think we're looking at a little more than potential with, like, Taylor Hendricks was all potential. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what you make that pick. At 1 or 2, you hopefully have a little more than just potential. I think AJ has shown a little more than just potential. Maybe, I mean...
No, absolutely. He's got a ton of game. That's why he's being talked about
and
number
he
one.
was an All-American. I mean, I don't know how much stock we're putting in the college thing. That's the argument for Boozer, is his college numbers.
Well, in high school. He's the most decorated high school American player ever.
But he wasn't the number one prospect coming out of high school.
No, he was number 3. Behind AJ and Darren Peterson, again, because of the potential of those players. And by the way, he was a way better college player, but they were betting on potential in college too, and Boozer was still better than they are.
Yeah.
At some point, when are you going to believe it? I guess that's the question.
Well, when I see it at the NBA level, I mean, Tyler Hansborough was great in college. Mm-hmm. Jimmer was great in college. Yeah. I mean, yeah, when you see it actually out there on the floor is when, I mean, what was Morrison? 3rd pick?
Up there.
When he went to Charlotte, great college player, average NBA player, not even a starter. Yeah, average NBA player. So it's hard.
I don't think anyone's betting on Cam Boozer.
Anthony Davis was a great college player, and he turned into a great NBA player. So it's not like there isn't some correlation.
No,
but it's not the whole story.
No, it's not perfect.
And Morrison going 3rd was not everybody, but people considered like. This is a guy. You're getting a guy. You're getting a franchise dude. Did you see him at Gonzaga? He was amazing. Mm-hmm. He was not amazing.
Right.
He also went to a bad situation, which probably didn't do him any favors, but certainly was far from a great NBA player. So I don't know. Morrison had some of the problems that Cam Boozer has, honestly, with the lateral quickness and athleticism, and it really limited him. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, if you've got the 1 or 2 pick, why take a player that has a significant flaw that is obvious? Does DiBonsa have a significant flaw that is obvious? I'm granting you're no perfect player. We're certainly splitting hairs. But is there
does he have something he
an
can't
obvious
overcome?
Flaw that he can't do? Do you need him to rebound 10 a game? Not really. That's not his position. You know. He hasn't shown necessarily that he's a great defensive player, but all the capability is there.
Yeah.
You know, I could tell you why Luka isn't a good defensive player. I couldn't tell you why AJ would be a bad defensive player.
Yeah, he can get there. That's why he's going to be the number 1 pick.
Darren Peterson, is there a significant flaw to that guy's game?
He's the shortest of the group.
Yeah, but he's not obnoxiously short.
No, it's not disqualifyingly short. His athletic numbers today were good. They're not great. He's not an elite athlete.
He's the same size. I'm not comparing to Kobe.
Yeah.
He's the same size as Kobe was.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit taller than Dwayne Wade.
Yep. not quite as tall as Michael Jordan.
Right.
Although we never saw Michael measured without shoes.
But again, like that, yeah, so is Jalen Green. It's the exact same body.
Jalen Green's problem is heart, though, right? To bring it back to that problem. Like, talent isn't Jalen Green's problem. Athleticism isn't Jalen Green's problem.
He's a good jumper. He's not a great first step guy. But so there are some issues there. Then where Darren Peterson's not. Like Darren Peterson probably has the best first step in the draft.
But what was true about Jalen Green, and I'm glad that's a good example of exactly what we're talking about. But that these guys need to do what Jalen Green did not. But all three of them really, but less so Boozer, to your point, is that if A.J. DeBonsa gets into the league and doesn't put his heart into it, yeah, he's on the fast track to average town.
Yeah.
Peterson, the same way.
Right.
But I think you've got to ignore that somewhat with the draft and try to make a determination on what kind of person. This is why what kind of person matters so much. Mm-hmm. I'd be curious I would love to have seen Jalen Green's pre-draft interviews and what he said or what he was all about.
That's why Ace Bailey fell to 5. There was no pre-draft interviews. There was questions about his heart at Rutgers. There was questions about how hard he played and whether he cared about winning.
And if he doesn't pour it on, he's going to be on the fast track to average town too.
But he did his first year, and then everyone says like, "Oh yeah, we overthought that." You know?
Yeah. Well, I think Ace Bailey's still got a long way to go.
He does, no question. Yeah. But no one's questioning whether or not he deserved to be the 5th overall pick.
Not
now.
at the moment.
Yeah.
But we got a long way to go.
Correct.
I mean, he really does. He's got to put a bunch of effort into it and get a lot better. And that's hard. That's what Ben Simmons was never willing to do.
But look, I think all three of these guys at the top are going to be great players. Like, this is going to be a very good draft. And all three of these guys, I think, are going to be very successful. I think what Cam does already makes him a relatively safe pick, but I don't think that means he doesn't have upside. And honestly, if I had to bet again, I think you're going to walk away with the second best player in the draft. With Cam, the question is, do you want to bet on a guy who's better than that? Because if you get a guy who's better than Cam Boozer, you do have a guy who I think has the potential to be the number one on a championship team. I mean, I think that's how good this draft can be.
Who was the Arizona guy who had one good tournament, win 2?
Derek Williams.
Mm-hmm. Who picked him? Minnesota?
Is it Philly? I don't think he went to Philly now.
I don't think so either. I can't remember either. That's how nondescript that dude was.
Yeah.
All right, stay tuned. We'll have more Jake and Ben coming up next. Don't forget, Ricky O'Donnell of SB Nation is going to join us at the top of the 4 o'clock hour.
Yeah, woof.
Killed it.
Career average 8.9 points.
How many years?
He played 7 years in the NBA. 2 years for Minnesota.
That's Jalen Green.
Yeah.
Now, Jalen actually probably will be a little better than that. But
yes, clearly.
Yeah.
But not meaningful. He's not a meaningful player.
Not at the moment.
Yeah.
And hey, don't write him off either. You know, Keontae George figured it out at some point, or at least appears to have.
Yeah.
So maybe somebody like that does. But that's what's going to make a difference for Peterson and DeBonsa and to a lesser extent. Boozer.
Like that?
All right, stay tuned. More next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. The chocolate crispy taste gonna make your day. And wherever you go, you hear the people say, give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.